Hello, I'm Colleen Pearl, the Cool Crone, and welcome to my channel. For all my old and new subscribers, thank you very much for tuning in once again. I really appreciate it. And if you're just stopping by, I hope you will consider subscribing. Don't forget to click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Today's video is going to be a pick a card about what the next 12 months holds for you. Now, it's not going to cover everything that happens in the next 12 months. We're going to focus on where you will be at the end of 12 months. I think a lot of people would be very interested in knowing what's going to happen because we've been through so much in the last 2 or 3 years. Whenever you're viewing this video is the exact right time to see it. So don't worry about when the video was filmed. Whenever you're seeing it is the right time for you to get this message. So could be now, could be 6 months from now. Any time that you view the video, you're going to be looking at where you are from a year from the viewing of that video. All right. Now, I think you all know by now how pick-a-cards work, but I will go over the instructions again. You're going to study the 4 piles. You're going to choose one. Then you'll go down to the description box, pick the timestamp next to your pile, and you'll get your reading. All right. With all of those things out of the way, let's get on with the readings. All right, let's focus on the piles now, and let's make your choice for the reading. Pile 1 is the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot. Pile 2 is the Coleman Centennial Tarot. Pile 3 is the Cosmic Tarot. And pile 4 is the Sacred Rose Tarot. Pile 1, Golden Art Nouveau. Pile 2, Coleman Waite. Pile 3, Cosmic. And pile 4, Sacred Rose. Now, for those of you who like crystals, here are some crystals. Pile 1 is the blue celestite. Pile 2 is the orange selenite. Pile 3 is the smoky quartz. And pile 4 is the green calcite. So take a moment to choose your pile, then go down to the description box below and click on the timestamp to get your reading. Now, let's get into the readings. Alrighty, this is pile number 1 for the people who picked the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot with the blue celestite. All right, let's get started. So the first card is the 5 of Pentacles. So this is your signifier. At the moment, you are feeling unsure of yourself, unsafe, insecure. You may be suffering from health issues, from food insecurity. You may have lost a job. You may be low on money. You may be struggling to make ends meet at the moment. Your challenge in this is that you really feel like the government and the rules are not helping you. You feel like they're there to punish you rather than help you, and you really feel like you're in a bad way. Now, this may be actual reality in your life, or this may be just your perception of things. So take a look, because you don't want to persist in your life with an attitude that people are against me. That's a victim mentality, and that will not help you to grow and to thrive. And so in order to thrive, you need to have an attitude that the universe is wise and benevolent and loving, and that it is giving you everything that you need. So if you're not getting your needs met, then you need to figure out what you can be grateful for, dig up some positive energy, some positive feelings for things, and see if you can't turn that around. Now, your conscious thoughts are the Lovers. So your conscious thoughts are saying, I am cooperating. Maybe you're in a relationship that is very cooperative, and you have a union with someone that is very harmonious. Every relationship has difficulties, but as long as your relationship is basically healthy and not abusive in any way, then this card is representing you and your relationship. And it's a great card. It's very powerful. It says that you are able to attract a really wonderful partner. So this is something to be grateful for. This is a blessing for you to express your gratitude about, to get that positive ball rolling for yourself. The next card is your subconscious thoughts. And this is literally putting you into a trance or meditation or sleep, where you really, your subconscious thoughts can come to the surface. So you may not be aware of just how much rest you really need. You may not be aware of how tired you are or how much you need to recharge your battery. So talk to your partner. Your partner is probably aware, and ask them, you know, do you think that I'm pushing myself too hard? Do you think that I'm in need of a rest of some kind? I just can't quite figure out what's going on. I'm in a rut, or whatever you want to say to your partner. And let them help you with that decision, because this is showing that subconsciously you're exhausted. The next card is the past, and then in the past we have the Fool. So this card is saying that in the past you've made some decisions that were perhaps a little risky. You've come out on the other side. You may not have succeeded wildly with some of the choices that you've made, but it does not show that you've also been unlucky in those choices and in those pursuits. The Fool has a very youthful quality to it, a naivete that one can make a decision just because one wants to, and it feels good to them on some level, and usually it turns out well. You know very well, as you get older, some decisions that you make are not good just because they feel good. So that's why this is the Fool, right? Because sometimes the decisions that you make end up not so great, and you have to make up for them over time. Then we have the short-term future, and the short-term future is the Strength card. She is embracing the lion. She's touching the lion. In fact, her hand is very near the lion's mouth, and yet the lion is not biting her. She seems to be in control of the lion. Strength is one of those things that you don't know you have until the moment calls for it. It's just like, you can't show that you're brave or even be brave until the moment comes where you're tested, until the moment comes where you might be afraid initially, and then you face your fear and you go on. That's bravery. It isn't that people inherently show bravery as a personality trait. It's when you're tested against events that you find out what you're really made of. Same with strength. And this is showing that in the near future, you're going to be showing aspects of yourself that are not usually shown, that will show you to be a very strong person, someone able to really handle a particular situation. Okay, we talked about the challenge card. Now we're going on to the way you see yourself. And you see yourself as a starter, as somebody who can really get things done and begin projects and kind of bull your way through it, kind of bully your way through it, maybe sometimes. This is the Fred Flintstone card, right? This is the big club that he wields, but it also represents, look at that club. It also represents new growth, new ideas, bright ideas, invention, pioneering, leading. There's a lot of really positive things in this card. So make sure that as you're assessing yourself, don't denigrate yourself for having this as the way you see yourself. Maybe you're a fire sign, an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. They would all see themselves this way. And that's a positive, because these are their positive traits coming out as leaders, as people who can charge forward into the breach and help get things done. So that's a good card. That's a really good card. How others see you, and this kind of goes along with the Fool card. Others see that you do like to act quickly, maybe a little brashly. So this would go along with some of those fire signs, because they are impulsive, that you maybe get things going and just let them run away with you. That's what the Chariot really does. You get the ball rolling and then things just kind of run away. And that isn't a bad thing necessarily, but it is the environment in which you sit. So you may feel right now feeling a little down on yourself and feeling like maybe you have to rejuvenate things in order to kind of force yourself to go forward, you may push yourself a little too much, and then that chariot is kind of a runaway train. So be careful about that. You don't have to push yourself forward so hard. You don't have to be the fool just walking off the cliff just because it's there. You can use your head to assess the situation, maybe back up a few steps and see if it's safe or not to go forward. The next card are your hopes and fears. And hopes and fears are really springing from past experiences for you. So you may have past experiences with people that lead you to believe that either you can trust them totally or you cannot trust them totally. And given that you have the Fool card coming up here, I would say that you mainly feel like you can trust them totally, but that decision has gotten you into trouble in the past. So I think you're learning to assess before you act, to think, in other words, before you act. And that's going to slow down this chariot action a great deal. And that's probably to your benefit. Now, the final outcome for where you're really going to be 12 months from now is you're going to have a lot of things to choose from. You're going to have opportunities, you're going to have benefits coming to you, but you're also going to have some things coming to you that you don't understand. So what are you going to do about that? Well, you're going to use your newfound powers of analysis to not just charge ahead just because it's offered, but to assess, to look at it, to see if it's really good for you. You're also going to use your strength, your newfound powers of strength that have been tested and shown to be tested and proven, I should say, so that you don't have to just do what everybody else says. You can be an individual. This is a lot of what the Ace of Wands wants you to be. It wants you to show that individual characteristic that you are so well known for. But this can even be a little scary because there are things there that you just don't understand. That's okay. You don't have to pretend that you understand them. A year from now, you're going to see that there is a lot of opportunity for you. A lot of opportunity. Not all of these opportunities are great. A lot of them are. So you just have to assess and figure them out. So you're going to come a long ways from this, right? You're going to come a long ways from this suffering to having a lot of choices. So that's where you're going to be in a year. Okay, pile number 1, that's the reading for you. Now we're going to go on to pile number 2, which is the orange selenite and the people who chose the Coleman Waite tarot deck. Okay, this is pile number 2 for the people who picked the beautiful orange selenite, which is with the Coleman Waite rider. The Coleman Waite tarot deck. Very interesting. These cards that came out, a lot of major arcana. So this is going to be a significant year for you. The year starts out with you in celebration, or the time frame that we're talking about starts out with you in celebration, or at least in celebration with women that are in your circle. So this is you. You're celebrating. You're happy with other women. You're doing really great, feeling very, very happy. And the challenge is the chariot. You know things are about to change. And you may be dreading it, or you may just be thinking, I don't know what to expect. I just don't really know. But the chariot is going to speed things up in your life, and change is going to come quickly. That's what I do know about the chariot. Now, your conscious thoughts are the devil. That's weird. So are you fighting an addiction? Are you in a bad relationship that you need to get out of? Is somebody manipulating you? Are you really just worshiping at the altar of the dollar? There is something that is either abusive, addictive, or just plain not very great in your thoughts right now that you really need to work out. You really need to delve into it, and I hope eradicate it from your life, unless you think your life is just peachy. In that case, forget what I'm saying. You're fine. But usually the devil indicates something abusive, addictive, or just plain wrong going on in your life that you should probably eliminate. And this is coming up as your conscious thought. So you know it. You know that there's something wrong there that needs to change. The next card is your subconscious thoughts, and this is the sun. So underneath it all, you know what healthy and good really looks like. You don't need someone to tell you. You probably don't need a therapist to dig in there and say, why are you doing this? Is it because you're trying to get back at your father? You really don't need that kind of analysis. All you really need is to remove the, let's call it, icky situation from your life and get back to what you know is really healthy and good for yourself. Because I think it's going to be a really good year if you can do that. Now, in the past, this is the card for the thief. Were you the thief, or did you know the thief? Did you cover up for the thief, or did you cover up for yourself? Or did you just deceive people? Maybe you didn't actually steal anything, or maybe something was stolen from you. But this is the card of deception. This is somebody taking away things that they really don't own, that definitely belong to other people, and deceiving them by not letting them know that they took them, right? So something like that is going on. It's either you doing it or someone else doing it, but that's in the past. And that may be why you're at the mercy of this devil card here. Somebody maybe is holding that over your head, blackmailing you sort of with it, or maybe something on a smaller scale than that. All right. In the short-term future, life is changing because this is the end of a cycle. This is a complete end of a cycle. So these are big cards, the sun and the devil and the chariot, and now death. So there is something huge in your life that is about to shift, and one portion of your life is about to come to an end. Now, only you can tell yourself or understand what that is that's coming to an end, but definitely a cycle in your life is coming to a close, to an end. That's coming sooner rather than later. Now, moving forward, how do you see yourself? You see yourself as a just person. So if you were the person deceiving, then you've turned it around. But if you had someone deceive you, you're benevolent in your justice. You're forgiving them. You're okay with that. I mean, you do have in your subconscious thoughts, you do have the sun. So you have that sunniness, that benevolence, that warmth, that forgiveness, that gratitude that the sun bestows. And so if you are seeing yourself as justice, maybe this is a career change. Maybe this is a morality change. Maybe you're just kind of changing up how you let the world see you. But this is you now. This is how you're seeing yourself, is as the sword of justice and truth. This is how others see you. Others see that you can take it or leave it. You can walk away from the things that you're into at a moment's notice. So if what they know is whatever's connected to the devil, then they believe that you can drop this like a hot potato, no big deal. And that would be great. If it were a relationship that's abusive or manipulative, that might be very hard to get out of. If it was an addiction, that might be very hard to get out of. If it's just a really bad situation with some nasty people, you can walk away. So maybe that's all it is. And you're able to walk away because you've got this. Now, are you leaving something behind? Absolutely. Do you care? Probably not. So this is a part of your life lesson. And maybe this walking away is related to allowing this cycle to just end. Okay. Then we have the King of Swords in the hopes and fears placement. And what you really want is for the truth to come out. And you want to be the one saying it. You want to wield the sword of truth and justice. You have the Justice card. Now you have the King of Swords. I can't think of two cards that go together better when it comes to somebody wanting to live their life on the right side of the law, but also just in the right in general. You want your life to represent the morals that you feel are really important. And that's where you're going with this. The final outcome, you're absolutely ready to pay your dues, to plant the seeds today that will come up tomorrow. So this is the new. So 12 months from now, you're going to be looking at a crop that you sowed over this year, over this coming 12 months, and that is going to serve you in good stead. So at the end of the 12 months, you're going to have something to harvest. You're going to be able to show beyond a shadow of a doubt who you are in terms of justice and truth. So that's a pretty big year. This is a watershed year, I feel. This is a really major year in your life where you are changing things for the better in your life. And that's why these cards are so strong coming out. So that's pile 2. I know that went pretty quick, but it is all of the reading, pile 2, and that's the orange selenite. And thanks for watching. Now we're going on with pile 3 with the Cosmic Tarot and the Smoky Quartz. Okay, this is pile number 3, the Cosmic Tarot, one of my favorite decks, using the beautiful Smoky Quartz crystal. Nice crystal, right? Yeah, very nice. Okay, your significator is the Three of Swords. So you are coming into this period with some unresolved grief and sadness. You could be mourning over the loss of a number of things: loss of a job, loss of a friendship, loss of a friend, a family member to death, loss of a person to illness. A death is definite loss and mourning, but it could also be just a very good friend moved away. Maybe you've gone through a divorce. Maybe you yourself have had a very big illness and you're on your way to recovering. But there's a loss and a mourning here that you are still in. The challenge, as if that isn't enough challenge, is that you are surrounded by people who seem to have already gotten over things. You are surrounded by people who are proud and showing no fear and seemingly able to just go on with their life without a blip, without having this great loss affect them the way it's affecting you. Everybody grieves in their own way, and there is no time clock to how to grieve and how to get over the loss of a loved one, whatever that loss is. A pet, a friend, a neighbor, there is no timeline. So this may be your challenge, but I say to you, you're perfect just the way you are. Where you're at in your grieving process is perfect. You are perfect. Everything about you is perfect. You are learning in divine right timing who you are, and what you should be doing with your life. So please don't let other people determine if you're over it or if you're, letting it linger. There's nothing worse than judging people on something like, did you get over your grief fast enough? That's really horrible. Now, the conscious thoughts. You're torturing yourself. You're torturing yourself over this. The Ten of Wands is showing that you really are kind of at your rope's end. You really feel like you can't handle it anymore. And I'm here to tell you again, you're perfect the way you are. You don't have to handle it. If you need therapy, if you need a friend, if you need help, if you need to talk to people, there are so many ways to reach out. Either on, in social media, but private message people. In support groups, there are support groups in social media. There's very private support groups. Maybe look, instead of something like Facebook, maybe look at something like Meetup and see if you can find a support group there that would honor your privacy. So in some way you need to let this out so that you can rise through it and grieve and grow through it. It's really, really important. Now, the next card is your subconscious thoughts. Subconsciously, you are there. You're getting better. This is a dancer balancing on one leg with one of their arms extended. And fours stand for foundation. They are the very strong, stable foundation that we all need in order to get through every day. So you have that at your root, at your base, but on the surface level, it's very difficult for you to cope, and that's where you're really tearing yourself up with this process. Um, and I think you can find support, and I think that will help you a lot. In the past, there was someone who really showed you the way. There was this person who knew all the right things to say. They had a quote or a rule for every occasion. This could have been a teacher, a parent, a religious leader, some kind of guru or authority, a person that just always seemed to have the answers. And apparently, right now, they don't have the answers, or maybe they're gone and that's who you're grieving. Or maybe they were gone before this, but they're not there now to help you in your grief. And that's one of the things that you really, really miss. But you have all the answers within yourself. Know that as a child of the universe, you do have all the answers within. And if you can just calm your heart chakra enough to go within and find the answers, it might help you a lot. The short term future is that you are going to get to the truth. You are going to start to heal and find truth in that healing and find solace in communication with others or with your higher self. Maybe just communing with your higher self through meditation and prayer and contemplation. Maybe that's what you need. But you do need to go through this process and really give it more attention, because it seems to be halted in some way. It seems to be stymied, and it's made worse by your comparing yourself to others on the outside who have coped with this in a faster way. Okay. How you see yourself. This is beautiful. You do see yourself as the Ten of Pentacles. You see yourself as somebody who is in the heart of a family, of a legacy. You do see yourself as carrying on. You see yourself as secure, a person who is well maintained. You're not wanting or lacking for material things. You're not wanting or lacking for good health. The only thing is this sadness, this grief that's really eating you up. But you know that once you can get through this and figure out how to cope with day-to-day life, you are not just fine, you're really fine. You are fine. But you really have a great, solid, healthy attitude about yourself. This is how others see you and the environment you sit in. The Six of Cups is a card about the past, but it's also a card about pleasurable things that we remember. And so other people see that maybe you are dwelling on something about the past a little too much, or maybe that's the only solace that you can find right now. So whichever it is, again, you need support with this. You either need to talk about the past more, or see this person from the past and try to talk with them. Or you need to just quit listening to what other people say. That might be a really good idea too. And that's the environment, is really things from the past. The past seemed to be very important to you. And maybe it's because you lost someone, so now they're in the past of your life. It's very difficult, very, very difficult. Your hopes and fears, kings usually mean release, and wands are your identity. So part of what you're hoping and fearing is that with the loss of this person, you seem to have lost a bit of yourself, and you don't like that. You don't want to let go of yourself. You don't want to let go of your identity. But think of this too. Perhaps you hung your identity on somebody else's identity, this person from the past, the King of Wands or the Emperor. So perhaps you need to carve out for yourself an identity that is truly just you, that is not based on anybody else's identity. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles as the final outcome. So in the final outcome, you will be very, very secure. You will be very happy. You will be fine. You will be healthy. You will recover from this. So I don't think it'll take you the whole year. I think, it'll take you more time, but I'm not going to put a number of months or number of weeks on it. I'm just going to say at the end of the year, you're going to look back at this time when you were mourning and you're going to say how much you learned about yourself, how deeply it affected you, how beautiful that relationship was that could affect you so deeply, and how much you learned about the world and how people treat each other. It's going to be a wonderful learning experience for you. A little painful, yes, but a wonderful learning experience. And this Queen of Pentacles is very strong. She's very sure of who she is and what she's going to do. And I think from there on, whatever it is that you want to do in your life, you will be able to do it with such a strength, such an independence that nobody ever thought was possible. So, really beautiful reading for you, people who picked the smoky quartz for pile number 3. Really, really beautiful reading. A lot of digging that you have to go through, probably a lot of shadow work, but you're totally up to the task. And I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please leave me a comment below. And now we're going on to the 4th reading, which is the green calcite, the tarot of the sacred rose. And here we go with the sacred rose tarot and the green calcite that everybody. All right. So this period begins with an Ace of Swords, and I want you to look closely at the picture of this Ace of Swords. It's actually a crystal. So it's a crystal on a whatever they call that, a hilt of a sword. So you are starting out your 12-month period with the beginnings of crystalline energy, of light, of truth, of communication. The hand there is grasping it. There are leaves around the base indicating new growth. There is new growth growing around the hilt of the sword. There's the drops of red at the base of the hilt and on the 2 sides of the hilt. I guess that would indicate struggle, blood, right? But still, an Ace of Swords, a very positive and auspicious beginning to this period of time. Your challenge is the 5 of Swords. Of course it is. There's always a struggle. There's always competition with the 5s. There's always something that must be overcome. But in astrology, without the difficult aspects in one's chart, nobody has any ambition. Nobody has any impetus to get up and go. So it is the challenges of your life that allow you to achieve as much greatness as you are capable of. So the 5 of Swords here is a challenge to that communication, a challenge to your ability to speak truth, to see truth, to hear truth, and to communicate it back to others. So that's your challenge for the year. It's very intellectual, very academic. Now, the conscious thoughts that you have are the Page of Wands. So the conscious thoughts that you have are that you know that you are immature or youthful in your outlook about yourself, in the way that you promote yourself and present yourself to the world. What is that? That's very interesting. So they're holding this beautiful flower, and there's light rays coming off of it, and the light ray from the candle on the ground below in front of the page, the ray from that candle flame is going straight up into the flower. Really interesting. Really, really interesting. So you know that you are presenting as a untried person or a youthful person or an apprentice or a beginner. You know that. That's in your conscious thoughts. But in your subconscious thoughts, you also know that you're capable of so much more. This is also a wand. This is also lots of points of light bouncing off of the person's face and the horse's face and the wand that he's holding. So you know that you're capable of bravery and good things and helping other people and charging in the midst of danger. You know you have these qualities, but you also know that you're untried, that you're brand new. So the deep bedrock of your subconscious tells you that you are highly, highly capable. But the forefront of your conscious thoughts knows that you would be foolish to try to rush in now without gaining experience first. And I guess this year that you're going to be going through, these 12 months, is going to give you some of that experience that you really, really need. In the past, there was the King of Cups. There was a man who had great love and authority who watched over you. I don't know if this person is completely gone from your sphere, from your cosmos, but this person affected you greatly. He showed you what love was. He showed you what it was to be cared for and loved in a family arrangement. And he may or may not still be with you. There's a lot of people in this reading. But wherever he is, he taught you well, and he showed you how to love other people and how to accept love, most importantly. So many people are not taught how to accept love. They're taught to give love and to take care of other people, but they're not actually shown how to accept love. And that's a failing of our society. All right, now your short-term final outcome is the Nine of Wands, which is a little bit of a contentious card. It does show a being that is pretty much defending themselves. They're surrounded by wands, they're holding wands, they're holding one in front of their face to the point where you can't even see their face. It's just the bright light, the light all bouncing off of those wands. So I think in the near future, you are going to have a chance to test yourself, to test this Knight energy, and to learn what it is that you have to do in order to defend yourself. And so I don't think you'll be the Page of Wands very long. Very interesting. So that's the short-term near future. We did the challenge. The how you see yourself is the Knight of Cups. We had the King of Cups here, and you see yourself as the Knight of Cups. So you see yourself very much following in the pathways and the footsteps of the King of Wands. You see yourself as a younger version, the youthful version, the version that is the person who would protect anyone that they love, and who would show love, and who would help them understand how to accept love. So carrying on that tradition of teaching one how to love oneself and how to accept love, very honorable, very, very honorable. How others see you is they may see you as a person who has a lot of pride, somebody who really takes care of the people around them, who understands who all the people around them really are, does not just, toss them off as, thing one and thing two. They really know the people around them in their family, the people they work with, the people at the grocery store. The Queen of Wands is somebody that makes it her business to know about everybody and to make sure that they are well cared for. Now, it may not be in her power to take care of the people at the grocery store, but it may be in her power very well to take care of the people at her job or the people in her family. So that's the energy here. And this is how others view you. They view you as somebody who really takes care of other people and who cares about other people, and yet is still incredibly busy, incredibly efficient, and able to do a lot of things and keep track of all the things that they have to do. So really nice the way other people see you. Your hopes and fears, you are getting into the occult or the metaphysical stuff. Your hopes and fears are that you want to know the secrets. You want to know all the secrets, and you want to master all the secrets, and you want to master them now. Well, take this next 12 months and give yourself a actual program. There's one book, I think it's David Craig. I will look it up. I'll put it in the description, the book that you should look for if you want to give yourself a magical practitioner's program and teach yourself how to be not a magician like, David Copperfield, but a spiritual person who practices magic. I will put that down there because that's what you're looking for. You're looking for what are all the mysteries? What do they mean? All right. So that's what we're going to give you. And the final outcome is beautiful. It's the Ace of Cups. But I don't think in this final outcome, I don't think it just means a new relationship like a romance. I think this is a new relationship with yourself as a result of studying your metaphysics. I think that you are going to find that you have a deep well, a deep resource within you of love, of compassion, of healing, of nurturing, and of magic. I think you have stuff inside of you that needs to come out. I think you need to learn about all the things that you are. And I think you need to bring that out to the world. And at the end of 12 months, this is what you're going to be. But what you will see and what the world will see is that you really know how to love yourself and how to accept love. That's really beautiful. Okay, that is the very beautiful reading for the people who chose the Sacred Rose Tarot and the Green Calcite. I'm really enjoying using the Sacred Rose Tarot. I almost didn't use it today. And I just thought, no, the more you use it, the more you get used to it, the more you'll get out of it. And certainly today I got a lot out of it. All the decks that I use, the other decks that I use, I'm very well acquainted with, but this one is sort of new to me. I've had it for a long time, but it's very nice to work with. Okay, that's the end of this reading. I hope you really liked this, and please leave me a comment down below, no matter when you watched the reading, because like I said, it doesn't matter when you see these readings. It's from that point up to 12 months. That's when you're going to see the results of this reading, is 12 months forward in time. All right. Thank you very much for watching. All right. Well, that's the readings for today. I hope you all found that interesting. I sure did. If you're interested in getting a personal reading from me, my information is down below in the description box. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, subscribing, and for all your comments. I absolutely love going through and answering them and getting conversations going with each of you. It's really, really nice. So yeah, I think that's all the information that I have to cover at the end of this video. I'm so glad that you joined me today, and I hope you will watch my future videos. With that being said, I will see you next time.